Thank you, everybody. Welcome to everyone for being here for our Howard County / Columbia Solar Information Session. My name is Jeremy Scharfenberg. I'm the director of sustainability for the Columbia Association. I'm joined by our implementation partner, a nonprofit, Civic Works, based out of Baltimore. And this is our 8th year of working with Civic Works in partnership to bring sort of solar education and empowerment to our community, not only Columbia, but also Howard County wide. And Civic Works actually works sort of within the region, even outside of Howard County into Baltimore City and Baltimore County. And it's really fantastic to see more and more people interested in clean energy options that are out there, and specifically how they can get solar photovoltaic panels on their own homes. We can advance. So before I introduce the larger team, I'm going to talk a little bit about the agenda for this evening. So in terms of the details about the solar program that we're offering in partnership with Civic Works, we're going to talk a little bit about Solar 101, sort of exactly what it is. It's a quick briefing education on some of the details of having solar panels on your own home. What is the solar co-op? How does the homeowner association impact that? What are some of the economics associated with it in terms of what does it cost? A couple little, one specific sort of story in terms of a customer that's had a successful experience with solar on their own home, and then Q&A. And then that's sort of where the magic happens from my perspective, is really in that Q&A piece where people can really learn about solar. We have multiple experts on this session right now that can help sort of clear the air and make it clear for individuals about what it means to put solar on their own homes. And then at the very end is actually the key piece here, which is take action, which is signing up to have an assessment of your home, of your property, for the potential for solar. We can advance. And so here's our A team right here. With us, we have myself, Jeremy Scharfenberg of Columbia Association, the Director of Sustainability. I'm joined by Natalie Yee, who's an environmental program manager with the Columbia Association, who supports our work throughout the community. We have Simone Zimmer, who's a solar program manager with Civic Works, Victor Walters, who's the outreach and intake manager, Quandra Gaines, who's the energy advisor, India Dorsey is another energy advisor as well. And then April Patterson, who's a community outreach coordinator, and Essie Chang, who's the design and marketing coordinator. And so that's the team that's sort of available throughout this whole process for anybody that takes the next step around being, they're interested in solar in terms of having a contract come out and look at your home. So we can advance. Oh, here's a key one right here. And I mentioned earlier the Q&A piece, and the chat box is also where we can have a dialogue happening in the background, where Victor will help answer some questions that might come up real time as the session's going along. And he'll be there to provide answers as we go. So definitely drop any questions you have in the chat as well. And if they're not covered in the actual real time with Victor, if they require more discussion, we can handle those at the end as well. So this is just a quick little intro in terms of why CA is doing this. What's our role in this? So CA is a nonprofit public service corporation that serves the community of Columbia, Maryland, and sort of embedded in our mission as an organization is environmental sustainability. And we've worked really hard for the last decade to really improve our environmental performance as an organization. And so over the last decade, we reduced our energy use by more than 20%, and we cut our carbon footprint in half during the same time. And we're very active with state and local entities, federal agencies, in terms of partnering with them around clean energy and energy efficiency programs. We can advance, Simone. And specifically, CA has really made a strong investment in solar and really promoting clean energy within our own operations. And so kind of the centerpiece of what we've done around clean energy and solar specifically is we're an off-taker of the Nixon Solar Farm that's just up Route 32 at sort of the intersection of Route 32 and 70. And so we have one section of that farm, there's 5 total. And so we have about 10 acres of solar panels that are up there. It's a total of 2 megawatts of generating capacity. And that one installation provides about 25% of our total power consumption as an organization. And then we also have 9 other solar installations throughout the community on different buildings, at Kaler Hall, for example, in Harper's Choice, at Amherst House in Kingston Trivens, at in front of our Long Reach Tennis Club in Long Reach. So we're very active in solar. And as a result, anything that's not generated by solar is actually offset with wind renewable energy credits. So in fact, all of our electricity is offset with renewable energy sources. We're 100% green power as an organization. You can advance, Simone. And then beyond solar, we're really working towards educating the community on energy efficiency by partnering with the Energy Star program. And we've also been working with Civic Works to promote energy efficiency through the Home Performance with Energy Star program. So we really believe in linking together energy efficiency and renewable energy. If you have a very inefficient home with very leaky windows and no insulation, you might want to look at energy efficiency as a first step before putting solar on your house. There's sort of a work in tandem there around energy efficiency and clean energy that's really advisable. And we can help you with energy efficiency as well. Okay, can move on. And the real piece of this is, you know, as an organization, the Columbia Association can be very aggressive in reducing our own carbon footprint. However, this is just a little graphic that sort of tries to illustrate the impact of our emissions relative to the community that we serve. So our carbon footprint is equal to about the emissions from 2,000 cars, but the homes in Columbia are equal to the emissions from about 80,000 cars. So it's a factor of 40. So while I can reduce our impact significantly, if I can move the needle just a little bit for the community as a whole, that can have a much bigger impact than what I can do within our own buildings as a Columbia Association. And so with that little intro, I'm going to turn it over to Simone, who's going to go into the details about our solar cooperative. And again, thank you so much for being here and going on the solar journey for the next half hour to learn about solar.
Thank you, Jeremy, for sharing the good work that Columbia Association is doing. As stated before, my name is Simone Zimmer, the Solar Program Manager at Civic Works. Throughout this session, I will mention multiple times about taking action. This is where you can take action and sign up for the Solar Co-op with Civic Works. The sign up link is at energyprograms.civicworks.com/Columbia. Our team will put the link in the chat box so you can sign up anytime during this session or afterwards. Before we discuss solar, I would like to provide a summary of who Civic Works is and what we do. Civic Works is a 501c3 public charity based in Baltimore, Maryland. Founded in 1993, Civic Works' mission is to strengthen Baltimore's communities through education, skills development, and community service. Under this mission, Civic Works' energy program goal is to support the efforts to expand access to family-sustaining careers and improve the financial resilience of low and moderate income families through housing upgrades. Regarding family-sustaining careers, our job training highlights include over 1,000 graduates, completion rate of 85%, job placement rate of 82%, and the average wage at the time of job placement is $18.30 per hour. Under energy programs, we aim to transform the Baltimore community and surrounding areas through 3 programs. Free quick installs are 1-hour appointments to help you obtain upgrades on lighting, water measures like shower heads, aerators, in short, solutions that can save you money immediately. Next, to reduce your energy even further, we have more comprehensive home energy upgrades, which enables you to claim weatherization rebates. There are many incentives out there that people don't realize exist. We will help guide you through them and make your home even more energy efficient. And lastly, our solar program is to help residents offset their energy by getting solar on their roof or to subscribe to a community solar system in the Maryland area. Housing upgrade highlights include more than 24,000 households served, over $3 million in utility bill savings, and over 36 million pounds of CO2 saved. To begin Solar 101, Let us test your knowledge on solar and learn if solar is right for you. I will initiate a Zoom poll. You have about 30 seconds to answer. You get that launched. So you should see on your screen 4 questions. They're just true and false. First question is, I have asphalt shingle pitch roof. I can go solar, true or false. I have a tar roof. I can go solar, true or false. My roof is shaded. I can go solar. And I'm a renter. I can go solar. All right, we're getting a little bit of a mix of answers. This is interesting. All right, that was about 40 seconds. I'm going to end the poll. And the results were pretty good on the first one. Number 2, we got a bit of a mix. Number 3, mix. And number 4, mix. Okay, so what is right? The answer to all 4 questions are yes. I must admit these questions were a bit tricky. If you identify with any of these answers, the good news is that you can go solar. You just stop the sharing here. The best option is rooftop solar. This is where you are getting solar panels on your roof. We have a goal to make this option accessible for residents with all types of roofs, whether you have a pitched roof, whether it's north facing, south facing, if it's shingles, if it's tar. We are here to help you have solar on your home. For the people who are completely new to solar, let us watch a short video on how solar power works.
How solar power works. Solar power works by taking the energy from the sun's rays and converting it into electricity. The sun's rays contain photons. When these photons hit a solar module, electrons inside of the solar module move and an electrical current is created. This electricity then travels from the solar array to an inverter. The inverter takes the electricity, which is in DC or direct current form, and switches it to AC or alternating current power. Once that switch is made to AC, the electricity is ready for household use. From the inverter, the power is fed directly into the building's main electrical panel and can provide power to the site. If the site demands more power than what is provided by the solar, it will pull from the utility grid. If the sun produces more than the site needs, then that overproduction is put back into the grid for a credit in a process known as net metering.
To review, net metering is where you could put energy back onto the grid and you could take energy off the grid. Cool device, but you're probably wondering, how do I save money with solar? As an example, let us look at all the energy you produced from your solar panels for 1 month and all the energy that you used in the same month. If you produced more than you used, you'll receive a credit on your energy bill that will carry over to the next month. However, if you use more energy than you produce, this means you took more energy off the grid and therefore you'll need to pay for the excess power from the utility company. Depending on the size of your roof, this will be one of the key indicators of how large your solar system will be. On average, over a year, your solar system will cover between 30 to 70% of your electricity cost. Now that we understand how solar power works, we want to discuss why is it beneficial to you. Solar co-op discount. By joining a solar co-op, the solar contractor gives you an exclusive discount upfront. Reduce carbon footprint. One residential solar system equals 3 to 4 tons of carbon emissions eliminated each year, which equals to 100 plus trees planted annually. Electricity savings. Over its 25 to 30-year lifetime, the system will generate thousands of dollars worth of electricity. Tax advantages. If you own the system, you receive 26% back of the total cost of the solar system through the investment tax credit. Note that the ITC, as it is known, is stepping down to 22% in 2023. Home value increase. According to Zillow, homes with solar sell for about 4.1% more than homes without. Return on investment. The average solar purchaser sees a return on their investment of 20% or more, with most solar panel systems paying for themselves multiple times over the course of their lifetime of 20 plus years. Positive economic impact. The solar industry is growing and producing new green jobs every day. And lastly, limited maintenance. A solar array requires minimal maintenance to operate at full efficiency. What is a solar co-op? A solar co-op is where Civic Works has pre-negotiated the terms of a rooftop solar package deal with local solar contractors. Everything has been negotiated regarding pricing, equipment, warranties, and monitoring service, all done with quality. By signing up with the solar co-op through Civic Works, we have made the process of getting solar not only cheaper, but also faster so that you can enjoy the savings of solar and generate clean energy, which is great for the environment. So how does the solar co-op work? Step 1, meet energy advisor from Civic Works. Your energy advisor guides you through the process and makes sure going solar is right for you. Meet solar contractor. Your energy advisor introduces you to the solar contractor. Step 3, assess roof. The solar contractor assesses your roof to verify any shading from trees or other structures, the size and shape of your roof, and its orientation towards or away from the path of the sun. Step 4, review sales proposal. If your home is a good fit for solar, the solar contractor provides and reviews the sales proposal with you. Step 5, sign sales proposal. Once you're ready to go solar, you sign the proposal, which turns into the contract between you and the solar contractor. Begin permitting process. The solar contractor begins applying for the permits and utility interconnection for the solar system. Step 7 is install solar. Once the permits and the interconnection are approved, the solar contractor installs the solar system. This generally takes just a few days. Commission solar. The solar contractor commissions and tests the system and then applies for the permission to operate from the utility company. Number 9, turn on solar. The solar system is turned on and you can begin saving money and producing clean energy. And lastly, receive O&M service. The solar contractor provides operation and maintenance service if any issues come up with your system for the number of years stated in the signed contract. Note that anytime during this process, you can always contact your energy advisor from Civic Works if you have questions. The link to sign up for the Solar Co-op is in the chat, so come join the Go Solar movement today. Please note that you are required to obtain HOA approval to install solar on your roof. However, the HOA is required by law to approve you. More details on the law are listed below. HOAs cannot deny approval for rooftop solar. HOAs can deny approval for ground mount solar, and HOAs cannot impose limitations that would increase the cost of solar or reduce efficiency. Now it's time to talk about financials and solar. Depending on which financing option you choose to purchase solar, it can get complicated. For this session, we'll keep it simple and provide examples of estimated costs for systems. Note that this does not represent your actual numbers. 5 kW systems would be for a townhouse, while 7 kW and larger would be for a single home. Market rate. Known as the going rate for goods and services is the normal price charged to a customer in a free market. Solar co-op discount. This is the discount you receive for signing up with the solar co-op. Pre-negotiated upfront cost. This is subtracting the solar co-op discount from the market rate, which gives you the pre-negotiated upfront cost for obtaining solar. But don't worry, there are still many more savings coming up in this financial analysis. Electricity bill savings. This shows the estimated savings during the first year. 26% investment tax credit off of the pre-negotiated upfront cost is a big help. Note, in 2023, this will go down to 22%, and in 2024, it'll be 10%. This is another reason to take action and go solar in 2022. Residential clean energy rebate. The Maryland Energy Administration provides a $1,000 rebate for residents getting solar on their roof. SRECs, known as Solar Renewable Energy Certificates, are special incentives designed to encourage the adoption of solar energy. SRECs are essentially a commodity like stock. The credits were implemented as part of the state's renewable portfolio standard. For every 1,000 kilowatt hours of green energy you produce, you will generate one SREC credit, whether you use the energy or not. Credits can be sold on an open market based on the year they were generated and the going price. The solar contractor who installs your system will help you register with a solar broker to gain money for each SREC credit produced. Currently, one SREC in Maryland is worth $58.50. On average, a 7 kW system may produce 6 credits per year. Note the SREC for Maryland may go down or up depending on the SREC market. In conclusion, once you discount the electricity savings, tax credit, rebate, and SRECs, the total cost of your system is quite affordable considering you will own your own system and generate clean energy, which is a huge benefit for the environment and your community. Today, we will share an interview with one of our happy customers from the Solar Co-op program. His name is Christopher O'Hare. This is a picture of his house and his beautiful solar system. He uses electricity for everything such as cooking appliances, heating, and air conditioning. He's able to cover 100% of his electrical usage due to his roof and plenty of sun. His system is 15.9 kW and has 49 panels. We asked him, why are you happy that you went with solar? He said it lowers the carbon footprint of our daily life. Affordability, especially with the Civic Works Solar Co-op discount, and no money down loan. And number 3, improves the value of the house. What surprised you the most? He said how little I had to do in terms of the project. There was little impact in my daily life. Installation was done in 2 days, and from there, the installers handled every inspection and appointment. I just had to be home. What would you tell someone who is on the fence about going solar? He said it's worthwhile to run the numbers and see if it works financially. Their estimates are very accurate, and it costs you nothing to do. Since the Solar Co-op program pre-negotiated the price, there's no stress about price negotiation. And what is your favorite solar memory? Turning the system on and seeing the power flow backwards on the meter. Before we begin the Q&A session, here's the link to sign up for the Solar Co-op. The link is also in the chat. We invite you to take the first step in joining the Go Solar movement today. Now we begin the Q&A session where you can ask questions about the session today. You can either turn on your mic and ask the questions, or you can also write the question in the chat, whatever you prefer.
Don't be shy to ask a question. We can access any question you might have.
You can write it in the chat as well. Everybody's thinking of a really difficult question.
Okay, someone is asking, can I send the link to their email? I will send the link to everyone that has joined the meeting today. Now, I can send you the link directly to your email if you prefer. Yes.
And I think that, Victor, correct me if I'm wrong, we can also send them the Solar Co-op overview. PDF,
yep,
right?
overview of it and the recording of this presentation as well. And I can guess that probably there may be some joining by phone. So if I could send you that link directly to your email, that might help as well.
Exactly. And basically the PDF is just a lot of the highlights from the PowerPoint presentation. So you have a little bit more time to digest it. I think a question just came in, Victor.
Yes, the solar consultation is absolutely free. That was a question we had asked. The solar consultation is free. It's about an hour consultation and it's done virtually unless you would like it done directly in your home with the solar consultant, but it's a virtual meeting and it's absolutely free. You can do it during your lunch break at work or from out of your car, but it's a free consultation that's held virtually. And it takes just about an hour.
And there was one question before that one. Do we have to go through HOA board approval process, even if it's automatic? You do need to talk to your HOA. The main point is that they can't say no if it's a rooftop solar system. They could say no if it's a ground mount, depending on where you live. But yeah, you would have to go get approval, but they have to give it to you. So
Yeah, it would just need to go through the regular village residential architectural committee approval process, but they pretty much rubber stamp them as long as it's, again, as long as it's not a ground mount. Rooftops are approved pro forma.
And then we had someone that already has a solar system and they're wondering if they're trying to expand their system, would they go through the original provider or could they go through a co-op? So to answer that question, I don't know who your original contractor was, Mr. Brunner, but depending on who the contractor is, we would have to see if it's one of the ones that's part of our co-op that we have a pre-negotiated price with, if you're looking to expand your system. We work with different contractors.
Yeah, my guess on that, Victor, is it would just be a totally separate additional system that would have to land within their panel and would be totally independent of the existing system.
Would be,
And then I just want to answer those questions in order so that way we don't skip anyone's question. Do I need a battery at home to store energy? So if you want a battery pack system to be able to be off grid and store your solar power that you're generating extra, you do need a battery pack. And those solar contractors do have the option to give you a battery pack as well with your solar system if you're trying to store energy. And the next question is, how long does the system last? Your solar panels come for 25-year warranty, although they do last for up to 30 to 40 years, but your panels are warranted for 25 years.
we got a longer one here. For those of us in townhouse condo communities, are there condo communities in Maryland that have figured out how to go solar, given the constraints of living in communal property? We don't have ownership of the materials outside of our front door. Okay, so for this question, I think it would be community solar. Victor, would you agree?
Yep, community solar, unless legislation will eventually change. I think for the person that asked the question, there's a lot of townhomes that are, or condos that are built like townhomes. So you have your own individual door. You don't go through a communal door to get into your property. I do envision that we will eventually maybe have it possible where someone should be able to go solar with a condo-like building, but just not right now with current legislation. But I do anticipate if you wait, it will be possible if you intend on staying in at home for a while.
And for the poll, there was a question about renters, and this is also kind of related to this question. We do have a partnership with Neighborhood Sun. Neighborhood Sun's mission is to provide everyone with affordable and clean community solar. So I'm just going to go quickly through what that means. So community solar is when solar is built on a public space, either on a farm or on a large rooftop. This large system is off-site, which means it's not installed on your roof, and you become a subscriber of this system. Therefore, the first step when you join with the Neighborhood Sun through our special link is that you must select your solar farm. Next, you reserve your share. The share depends on your electric usage for a year. Neighborhood Sun will help you size your subscription for the system to match your electric usage. Therefore, if you have a smaller amount of usage, you will subscribe to a smaller share. If you have a bigger usage, you'll subscribe to a larger share. Once set up, you receive your solar. This means you'll begin to receive credits on your utility bill, just as if solar was on your own roof. And this is where you see your savings. Note that community solar projects are not active until they have enough subscribers per system. Therefore, by you subscribing, you're actively participating in allowing the solar system to be built. And lastly, for every supporter that signs up for community solar with Neighborhood Sun through our special link, we at Civic Works receive a donation from Neighborhood Sun to support our mission. It's a win-win for everybody. And I will, Victor, I don't know if you have the link, but I'll put it in the chat, which goes directly to Neighborhood Sun. But then through that link, they'll know that it came through Civic Works.
Okay, and then just going back to some of the questions we have.
Sure.
If someone is asking, does it affect their roof warranties? So our solar contractors or any company you go with, typically their warranty is exactly warranting where their racking system, which is the system that's holding your solar panels, only where the panels or where the racking system is penetrating your roof is being warranted. So not the whole roof, but it does add an extra level of warranty with the system. They are ensuring wherever their racking system is on your roof is being insured for any panels that may be affected. And then we have another question: how susceptible are the panels to ice, snow, and wind damage? The maintenance of panels is fairly easy. If there's snow on your panels, you should not clean them. The snow will gradually fall off. If it's snow on them, it will eventually melt from the sun that's hitting the solar panels. And wind damage, they can take a lot of hail damage to it and it won't break. There's been tests. I'm not sure with how strong of a hail can hit it, but the panels are very strong. It shouldn't
Yeah,
be a
I
problem.
think, hey, Victor, I think the standards, golf ball size hail at terminal velocity.
Yeah.
And there's one more: if roof repairs or replacement is needed, how difficult is removal? So my recommendation there is, if you have any roof repairs or replacement due, do that first. Unfortunately, uninstalls and reinstalls are expensive. And it's one of those things, it's once you install a system, it's best not to move it. You know, things can go wrong in an uninstall and then a reinstall. So it's risk-wise, it's better not to do it. So if you have roof issues, get it done first and then get the system. But good questions.
Oh, we still have some that's joining us this late.
Okay, well, that's okay. They can get some questions in the last moment. Great questions, though.
We will send an overview of the program to everyone that's in attendance, just in case you missed any part of the presentation.
Yeah, but I think overall, what I'd like to reiterate is I think, the solar consult is a free service. And so, if you're just a little bit interested in solar, or you're not even 100% that you want to go for it, it's worthwhile to have someone come out and just do a legitimate assessment of your property and see if it's viable. And then you have information to make the decision going forward.
I have a question.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Vic Meta. What's the ongoing cost on this to us?
So I'm not sure if you, when you say ongoing cost, do you mean once it's installed?
Yeah, what kind of costs are we going to run into
So there,
other than the initial setup?
yeah, so there is a O&M service that's part of it. There's 25-year warranty on the solar panels. The workmanship warranty is 10 years from the solar installer. And some of the other components that are required also are up in the 20-25 years.
Okay.
So, as
So it
long
should be
as
relatively cost-free.
in general, yes. I mean,
Relatively.
relatively, yeah. Relatively for the next, 10 plus years, you're going to be fine. As long as, there's not a storm and a tree falls on your house.
Battery backup, is that a big deal to install?
It definitely adds to the cost of the system.
Right.
The question is if you really need it. How often does that?
I'm in a townhouse.
Yeah, and the question would be, how often does that power go out? Is it every few months? Then yeah, maybe it makes sense. But if it only happens every few years,
Columbia's gotten real good about that. It's been only a few years. So
yeah, then I would say maybe you could definitely, when you go through the solar consultation, you could talk to them about it and they'll let you know the cost with and without. And then you can see if that's worth it.
Okay,
But if your grid is pretty stable, might not be needed.
yeah, we just had it replaced a few years ago, so,
Yeah, no, things can happen for sure. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just from our own experience at the Columbia Association, we've had the panels installed at Amherst House for almost a decade now, and I haven't had to touch them at all.
That's good to hear.
And then Victor, you got this sizing question here?
Yep, so the difference in why some homes might have a 5 kilowatt system or 7 kilowatt or even bigger custom kilowatt system, because it's your solar system is based on the energy usage that the home currently can use. And with that being said, also how much panels can your roof hold? So that's why we have differences in the systems that are customly done for homes individually. So that's why we could never ever tell you this is specifically how much your home is going to cost to go solar. You could have shading, or you could have dormer windows. That's why the systems are different to each home.
Exactly. But the solar consultation will go through that. They'll actually lay out the solar array on your roof. And depending how it's oriented towards the sun, they'll be able to figure out exactly how much energy should be produced. And they'll be able to share all that information to you for free. So it's really worth it. See a question here about tree shading. I think, Victor, I don't know if you want to take it, but I think they can figure it out before, because their simulation can just remove that tree like it doesn't exist. So that shouldn't be an issue to be able to tell you how much you can produce without that tree being there. But yes, if you do have a tree next to your roof, you definitely want to think about removing that, because that will affect the production of your solar system.
And then the following question that someone asked, also to do with shading, is do we have to wait till the trees near our house bloom? So it's also similar. During the consultation, they're looking at a real life system. So I don't know if anyone has looked at Google Solar to try to give themselves their own little estimate. They're looking at a much more sophisticated version of a satellite image of your home, or if they're actually physically on site, they can factor in how much shade is actually in place with those trees that are around the home.
Exactly. Yeah, they can actually plop in a tree, depending on how it is set up, and you can figure out how high it is through LiDAR. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, don't worry about the bloom. Not a problem. Any other questions? In the meantime, I can, let me get,
Sure.
can you put that link back up in there to make sure it gets to the bottom again? And then here's our contact information, and here's the link as well. We have the contacts for Civic Works, the outreach and intake team. And then also, of course, if you have questions for Columbia Association with Jeremy, we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have as well. And it goes without saying, thank you for everybody that showed up. Very good questions, lots of questions. Last time.
Yeah, and just to reiterate Simone's statement, we're available long after this session for any questions that folks might have on both solar or energy efficiency for that matter.
Exactly.
And another reminder, if you don't take action today, that link still will work. So it's not just only for today. If you click on that link, if you get it emailed to you, we'll be following up through phone call. You'll see us calling from numbers that start with 410-929 for anyone that's joined this meeting, following up with you individually. It's not beholden that you sign up today as well. But if you do sign up today, it's even better, but we will be following up. That link will continue to work.